Here we are.
All right.
Should probably turn off the music. There we go.
Yeah. And welcome back, guys, to the next match of the tournament for today. It's going to be between MSOE Fear and Deathcap for Cutie.
Yes, this will be quite the exciting game, I think. MSOE Fears, the returning champions from our last tournament.
Right.
And we see that they consistently have some very strong communication skills. They very good cooperation-wise.
Right. And based off how I've been hearing about how their team works, about how they have two different shot callers, one works really well for early game, one works really well for the late game. It's going to be a little more difficult for the other team to kind of pick through a strategy in terms of kind of, you know, figuring out who's in charge and trying to get them out of the game as soon as possible. In terms of Deathcap for Cutie, though, I'm really curious to see how things work out with them, just because they seem to be one of the more the ability is kind of balanced.
Right.
Most of these guys are platinum and diamond, so in terms of like the skill level, it's going to be really good. And I'm really thinking that they're going to give the previous years or previous champions run for their money.
Right. Yeah. We definitely got a Rams heads coming to a clash here.
Right. Very true.
Yeah. Should be quite the interesting match today.
Right.
We'll see the sparks flying.
No.
All right, they're still getting a bit arranged here, trying to make sure everyone's in order before we go to champion picks, which should be happening momentarily. Just trying to get...
You said those last two people.
It looks like we should be going in just a moment. So, what do you expect to see picked in this one?
Well, between both teams, let me just check really quick. They kind of don't really have too many of the same champion pool, or they don't have much of a combined champion pool. So I think everyone under normal circumstances should get whoever they're looking for the most. In terms of an actual interesting fight, it looks like it might be kind of interesting in top lane.
Okay.
We'll have to see how that turns out. Deathcap for Cutie's, I guess, highest ranked person from Season 5 is Topoke.
Okay.
And he typically played Gragas, Elise, and Lee Sin.
Okay.
For MSOE, their jungler, Smell Fear, who's also their captain too, like to play Rek'Sai, and Zac, and Gragas too. I don't necessarily think both of them are going to go for the Gragas, so it's going to come down to pretty much who's going to be able to out-jungle the other in this situation.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially wondering how the targeted bans are going to start coming in, if anybody's watching any of the other games, trying to scout the other teams.
Right.
Definitely seeing how just pivotal the Ahri and the Echo were in that last game.
Right.
Just curious to see how the teams are going to kind of influence each other throughout the day today.
Right. Just really going to be interesting. Well, it's also going to be interesting to see how that dynamic changes throughout the course of the tournament itself. So we had our first set of picks and bans and whatnot, but we're going to see how that changes over the course of 2 days, and whether or not, like, meta picks that we expect people to play are going to be the ones that are getting banned, or if some really out-of-the-way champion like Urgot all of a sudden becomes really big and really important to get rid of.
Of course.
So, this is a really exciting time. Like I said, considering it being this early in the tournament, kind of seeing what trends play out here, and seeing whether or not we might be able to start to see some potential new meta things that are about to come up.
Right. I think so far we have definitely seen a lot of high mobility picks, though, with that Shen. Just trying to create a more global presence, I think, overall.
Right.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to see. Really want to see some kind of unusual picks too. You know, those are always the most interesting, like you said with the Urgot, of course. But maybe something a little off kilter here and there. I don't know, maybe like a Victor or something. That would be kind of interesting.
Actually, Victor is actually one of those really interesting situations because a lot of the people I ended up researching before the tournament, a lot of the mid players do actually have some Victor experience on them.
Oh, okay.
So, like, there's a pretty high chance at some point we're going to see a Victor. Whether or not the team around that Victor is going to be in a position to either support him or whether or not Victor's going to be able to support other people around him who might be a better carry than he is.
Right.
I don't know, but we got to see whether or not people actually start to pick him up because, like I said, everyone seemed to have some experience, but whether or not they use him, that's their own prerogative.
We're getting some messages saying that they are ready to go, I think.
All right.
We should be getting to picks and bans momentarily here.
I do say you have to appreciate when a team has all of their icons together.
Except for Edge Keep there.
He's in the middle, so it kind of works
It's
around
balanced.
him a little bit.
It's
Yes,
balanced.
it's kind of like a soccer team. Like the goalie
Or a
never-
band. The drummer's always different.
Exactly.
Yeah, but going back to the Victor pick, though, he's definitely seems to be the kind of champion who really needs to get into position in order to really lay down the damage, and without the mobility.